How many times have you purchased a piece of software from an app store or a movie only to realize that you don't really own it at all and the service can yank it away from you at any moment? The news has been filled with game stores yoinking away games from people who have purchased it, and app stores that just go away, leaving customers to realize they can no longer use the software that they bought because they don't actually own it. They're just licensing the software. They're just licensing, almost like they're renting it's not quite renting because you don't necessarily do an ongoing payment. Sometimes you do, but you're getting a license for it that can be revoked at any time. It drives me friggin' crazy. And normally, I am against laws, extra laws that impose their will upon the computer world. Because usually when that happens, it doesn't go great. And it kind of limits the companies and it limits the consumers. And it's just, I don't like it. It makes me feel yicky. And I doubly dislike laws when they come out of California. I don't normally like California laws. When I see a headline that says new California law says, I usually go, I'm going to hate this. And then I continue reading and turn out I did indeed hate it. But a new law came out of California that I don't hate. It's actually pretty great. It is Assembly Bill 2426 out of the state of California. It's been signed by California Governor Gavin Newsom, who is definitely not a lizard person that lives beneath the Los Angeles subways. Wink, wink. Is entitled Consumer Protection, False Advertising, Digital Goods. I'm going to read the summary of it to you now. And I've got a whole lot I want to talk about. I'm not going to read the whole bill text. You can go read it at digitaldemocracy.calmatters.org. Existing law makes it unlawful for any person doing business in California and advertising to consumers in California to make any false or misleading advertising claim. Existing law makes a person who violates specified false advertising provisions liable for a civil penalty as specified, and provides that a person who violates those false advertising provisions is guilty of a misdemeanor. You can kind of see where this is going. A little false advertising stuff, buy versus license. He continues, this bill would, subject to specified exceptions, additionally prohibit a seller of a digital good from advertising or offering for sale a digital good as defined to a purchaser with the terms buy, purchase, or any other term which a reasonable person would understand to confer an unrestricted ownership interest in the digital good, or alongside an option for a time-limited rental unless the seller receives, at the time of each transaction, an affirmative acknowledgement from the purchaser, or the seller provides to the consumer before executing each transaction a clear and conspicuous statement as specified. By expanding the scope of a crime, this bill would impose a state-mandated local program. And then he goes on to talk about reimbursement and whatnot. Now, what does this mean exactly? What exactly are we talking about here? This means that if you have a digital storefront, a digital website, anything where you are selling a digital good, movie, music, a game, a piece of software, anything, any digital good, and you use words like buy now, purchase, right? Own it today. If you use any of the words that suggest that you own something after you buy it, you can get fined if that's not true. So that means that if you purchase, say, a movie from Amazon, and you don't really own the movies you purchase from Amazon. So that means right now, as of this very moment, Amazon is in violation of this rule, right? Because it is a license to the movie. Therefore, every single instance from the time this happens going forward, that someone in the state of California buys now a movie from any service or any software store or anything of the like, and it's just a license for it that can be revoked, that's a penalty. They have committed a crime in the state of California. I love this. And why I love this is simple, because it's very easy for any company to be very transparent about this, right? They can transparently say, purchase a revocable license for this piece of software, right? If you buy a piece of software from, say, the iOS App Store, in a lot of cases, those apps actually check to see if you have the rights to use them every so often. Same with Nintendo, right? You can buy a piece of a video game from the Nintendo Switch store, but a lot of times it can check to see if you currently have it with their online service. And after a period of time, it can just disable, right? Like all these pieces of functionality, they exist in the Android App Store, the Microsoft Windows Store, all these different places. There's a million like movie and music services that do this. And it sucks so much. It's false advertising. If you say you're selling something, it's mine. Now there are out there examples of people doing exactly this, saying, here, you can buy this game, buy this piece of software, and then you buy it and it is yours. An example is GOG.com. You go to Good Old Games, GOG.com. Any game you buy there, you download the installer for. The installer never has to be online again. You can back up the installer. You can literally go live in the woods and generate your electricity with a little pedal you keep under your bench, never connect online again, and you can play your video game forever because you bought it. It's yours now, right? Like it's yours. So, and that's kind of how it should be. If you're not... If your digital goods are simply licensed, you can't use words like buy and purchase. That's misleading. It's a lie. It's a straight up lie. And all of these companies, Apple, Microsoft, Google, Amazon, and on, they're lying to us every single day, and they know it. I guarantee you they know it. I've talked to these people. I've worked in some of these companies. Of course they know it. And it would be trivial to change a few strings here and there, a little bit of text on a button, a text inside of an image over here, one word in the license agreement, all these sorts of things, a license agreement for the service. And you could say, okay, now we're not buying the software, we're licensing the software. You're doing a one-time rental of the software. You're doing a one-time lease of the software. You are purchasing a license to use the software. There's a million ways they could word this that would be honest, or at least more honest, and be more descriptive of the service that they're actually providing. Or, and call me crazy here, they could actually sell us the software, sell us the movie. I don't understand it. Like I don't understand if you buy something that's digital, not being able to download it and back it up and reinstall it whenever you want. I don't understand that. I recognize that companies want more control over it. They want to wrap everything in DRM, and they want to limit piracy. And I understand all that. I get it. I'm in business too. I understand. But as a consumer, if I'm buying something, it's mine. It's mine, give it. And I want to be able to back it up. And I want to be able to install it when the internet's dead. And when the hurricane hits and the internet goes down, I want to be able to install it. When your service no longer exists, I want to know when Steam goes away, when Valve is no longer a company. It'll happen. No company lasts forever. When Valve goes away and Steam is offline, I want to know that I can still install every single game I purchased, I buy on Steam, because I've got it, it's backed up, it's mine, it never has to connect, right? I mean, we've seen multiple online focused games or games with large amounts of online content where developers will just pull it off of the Steam store or whatever store they're on when they take the service offline, or they come out with a new, better one. It drives me friggin' crazy. But this California law, this is a good step in the right direction. This should be a national law. It should. But the fact that it's a law in California, an absolutely massive market, means we're going to see a metric boatload of lawsuits based on this law. And we're going to see fines flying fast and furious at these companies. So you better believe that Amazon and Microsoft and Apple and all of them are going to have to do something about it. They're either going to have to change the terms that they use when they talk to people, to be honest, and say, you can just purchase a limited revocable license for this content so you can enjoy it as long as we allow you to, or they can actually let you purchase it and download the MP4 file for it or whatnot. So you actually own the movie. Download the installer that you can do offline. So you actually own the piece of software. Download the APK file so you can install on your Android tablet, even after the internet has long gone away, the game that you wanted to play from the Play Store, right? They could do that. There is no technical reason that Apple and Microsoft and Google and all of them can't do that. The only thing stopping them is their business interests, right? Which is fine. I understand business interests. I get it. Again, worked at these companies, run my own business. I get it. But if that's the case, then just be honest. And this law pushes them to just simply be honest, right? It doesn't force them to change their business strategy. Not at all. They can continue to sell revocable limited licenses to content as much as they want. They simply have to tell people that's what they're doing. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. California lawmakers, Governor of California, Lizard Man Gavin, you did something right for once. So, you know what? Big high five. Kudos. This is great. Keep doing stuff like this. You'll redeem yourself in no time. And with that, by the way, go to lunduke.com, lunduke.locals.com, where you can buy a subscription to gain limited access to my content. See, I'm very straightforward. It's a subscription. I'm not telling you you can buy irrevocable blah, 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 blah for all the blah, blah, blah. You just go get a subscription and support the work that I do. See, honest. See how easy that was, Google and Amazon? Honesty. You just tell people what they're friggin' paying for, and then they can decide if they want to or not. It's not a big friggin' deal. Lunduke.com, lunduke.locals.com if you want to support the work I do. With that, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, nerds and nerdettes across the inner tubes, I do declare, end friggin' broadcast.